It's the injury thing, though, dude, that I can't count on. I like what you're saying.
Yeah,
However, I'll tell you what I would do if I was Jacoby. Because of that injury, I tell my agent.
Well, hello, good
screener in Tennessee.
people. Mark Holmes here, and
go
as
to-
always, I want to say thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Jobu Sports Report. Without you guys, as well as you ladies, you know that this literally does not work. Hope you all are having a great day. Before we get deep into it, let's check out my buddies from Sleeper.
Sleeper is the #1 fantasy sports app. It pays to know sports. Pick more or less on top players. Your first pick is on us, so start winning now. Play in Texas, Georgia, Minnesota, and 27 more states. Pick anytime across all sports, pregame or live. Over 10 million players are already on Sleeper. Make your picks count. Score up to 1,000 times your cash. Join today. Get up to $100 credit using the code JOBU. Call your shot on Sleeper. Download now.
Call your shot on Sleeper. So let me go ahead and enter the studio here. Diaz Costa, 2016, Lord Nova, Holly Pierce in the house.
Josh McDaniels. Really?
There
Name
we
me
go.
a guy with
Let's
more
see.
rings and has done more with two different quarterbacks.
Yeah, but I think in strictly, I mean, if you take away some of those other variables and look
Boom
at offensive,
chakalaka.
just who's the best offensive mind, I wouldn't put him up there, but I think he's very good.
I'll tell you what.
I'm taking Kyle. I'm taking Kyle over anybody. Kyle and Ben over anybody.
And I'll tell you what. Josh McDaniels, man.
Dude, Kyle.
He's
Kyle,
a proven winner.
Kyle's a beast, dude.
Dude, he's a proven winner, McDaniels. Why do you think Vrabel wanted him?
He fell flat on his face as a head coach, man.
Okay,
You know,
that is no
you gotta
bearing
think.
at all.
Imagine Kyle if he had if he didn't care to be a head coach and had a
Kyle
guy
fell
who
flat
made.
on his face as an OC in Atlanta.
I know, and they lost. They were up 28-3 and blew the game. Believe
And
me,
who
I'm
was the
aware.
coordinator of that Atlanta team or that Patriots team?
Yep, that's true. He also had the great equalizer and the great
Yeah,
player who never
yeah,
graced a football
yeah,
field.
I
But all right, yeah, let's put it
Okay,
all.
so wait a minute. If Josh McDaniels wins the Super Bowl with Drake May, where are we going with
Yeah,
that?
then he's going to be approaching pretty sick territory.
Yeah. Okay.
Hangry got that one already. Pump says, y'all think Hurts would listen more if we hired a brother? I mean, Brian Johnson was not all that bad if Hurts stopped screwing him over with the turnovers. Maybe. I don't know, man. Who knows?
Hey, Pump, really? Even you now, right?
Who knows, brother? I get it. Here's Sam. Brian Dable was never coming to the Eagles. He told us in the press conference when he looks at the tape, A.J. Brown is always open. So who does that fall on?
Oh,
Hurts.
I forgot.
Dude, I forgot. That's a great pull. I forgot
Wait,
about that.
oh, Samuel.
That was like week 3 or 4 or 6.
I forgot he said that.
Dude, he
did say that. Remember, he goes, I don't know what they're talking about. AJ's always open.
Well, now it's been proven true. He wants to go coach Cam Ward, unproven Cam Ward over Jalen.
Wow. Hey, can you see AJ Brown out in Los Angeles with Herbert and Mike McDaniel?
Herbert, AJ, and McDaniel.
Okay.
And Harbaugh as the coach.
Harbaugh. And that defense.
Could he go back to Tennessee? Speaking of Dable.
Wow.
Pair him up with Cam Ward.
Do you think Cam's the guy?
That's a good question.
Talent.
Well, we're going to find out with all these guys.
Do you think he's the guy? You got a fat ass Miami logo on your chest.
I don't know.
Okay. Tells me all I need to know.
Sam,
thanks for the $5. Here's Pump. It's simple, fellas. We all men here, so I'll say it. No one wants to coach Jalen Hurts. It's like ripping off a Band-Aid. Hurts is a creative mind repellent.
Damn.
Come on, Pump. Pumpy's got 2 NFC titles and a Super Bowl.
Here's Khaled. I can't read Pump. He's going to Pump. You're going to get me in trouble. Khaled said, Philly.500 is probably listening. He's going to roast me like he did last week when he came on. He fucking roasted me in the Battle Royale. Philly.500. Yeah, Nick needs to get off my team. Imagine wanting the Titans over the Eagles. Shows how joke of a front office and team we are. This is sad. I still can't believe it. Put out, and it's not even like he got the job. Like, he had his agent put out, if I don't get Buffalo, I want to go to Tennessee over the Eagles. So, by the way, the tweet wasn't only about Dable. It was about the Eagles. Diana tweeted, the Eagles have had interest in Dable, but He wants to go to Buffalo or Tennessee.
Nobody wants to coach you
It's as
guys.
brutal as it gets, folks. Abe says, if Chargers ask to trade for AJ, that'll be insane.
Oh, my God. You put A.J. Brown out there on the other side of Keenan Allen and Justin Herbert, Mike McDaniel, and also Jim Harbaugh.
Mhm.
Bro, you're going to win some ball games, man. A.J., get his 1,500.
They already won some ball games, and his offensive line was one of the worst in history. That's how bad his offensive line right now.
Yep. I'm ready to get this thing
Who do you
on.
think?
Again.
Hey, wait, before you read this, who do you think gets better next year? The O-line? The O-line or Hurts?
O-line.
All right.
Ascent to the mean.
Get down. Look, the profit. Profit.
We have the only section of fans who actually think Jalen Hurts is good. Like, come on, man. These MFers are delusional. Fellas, Hurts the issue. He blows.
Damn.
Pumper's ruthless today, dude.
He is, man. He's coming off the top rope.
He is off the top rope. I was saying this morning, the school of Brian Pumper, the enrollments are through the roof. And the school of M. Reyes, people are dropping out. They're not paying their tuition. The school of M. Reyes is dying on the vine, while the school of Brian Pumper is like a rocket ship.
Damn.
Here's Michael. Big swings for OC. Shit, we button. Good God. I don't know what you're saying. Sorry, dude. I can't. I got to speak English. I'm sure the super fucked it up. All right, got that one. One more. If Hurts leaves and we don't win, then what? Yeah, we'll look back and,
Right. So, Z, before we get the guys on.
Dude, please get me off of here. You're killing me today.
Wait. I just
You're killing me today, dude. You're making me criticize every fucking part of this team, man.
I don't need to say shit.
We're Timu signing OCs? Is that what this is? The Timu OC signing season?
I guess, dude.
You're going to get a guy named Billy Bob Joe Cooter in here.
Oh, shit.
You can't even get Brian Dable. He's like, I'll take Tennessee and the shitty Titans.
Who got rid of AJ and Vrabel.
Wait a second. 1 second before I leave here. What is the Titans' record in the last 5 years?
Not good. Well, no, they were in the conference champion. I mean, they were in the playoffs 5 years ago.
All right, they were okay in 2020 and 21. They were 12-5 in 21. Then they got rid of AJ Brown and fell off a cliff.
Yeah. Here's the last one here, Z.
Someone needs to take Pump's picture, enlarge it, and hold it behind the upright in the stands when opposing kicker goes up for the game-winning kick. That'd be funny. I don't want to pull up Pump's picture. It's funny. All right, I'm out of here. Please get me off the show.
Big Z, we'll catch
Get me off the show, man.
Big Z, we'll catch you in the morning, brother.
All right, dude, later.
Love you, man. All right, that's my boy Big Z. Well, so let me get this right. Mr. Capri Pants and the guy who vapes says he didn't want to come and had no interest in being the OC in Philly. So it's one of the worst jobs right now out there, being the offensive coordinator, is the one in Philadelphia. Is that an indictment on the coach, the quarterback? What is it? Oh, and by the way, Dallas Cowboys have their own BS going on.
Not so much.
In Dallas right now, too. Who's going to be their DC? What direction do the Cowboys go? Can they catch the Philadelphia Eagles now in this offseason? Without further ado, we bring in one of the great content creators, our friend of the Dallas Cowboys. That is Mark Holmes. And also our friend, the legendary Philly.500. He joins us now here. How you doing, guys?
What's happening? What's going on?
Ooh, what's going on, good people? I've been like in under a house and all that, like a cave. So kind of like Aaron Rodgers, just without the magic mushrooms.
Oh, and were you in the dark too?
It was dark. It was definitely dark. So did I miss anything? With the Eagles?
I'll help you out before we go to my boy over here. So nobody wants the OC.
Billy, are you okay?
Nobody wants the OC job in Philly because of the coach and the quarterback. That's what's and Brian Dable said today, I'd rather have the Tennessee Titans OC job than the Philadelphia Eagle OC job. I'm just curious. Mark, what do you think about that?
On the outside looking in, you look at it and say last year they were Super Bowl champions, that they have two great wide receivers, a really good tight end, a battered and bruised offensive line. You would think that would be a place you'd want to go. But you're telling me that Brian Dybul wants to go to Tennessee instead? Now, I did hear that the Bills want to interview him for head coaching as a head coach candidate. So maybe that was part of it.
But Bob Lamont put out that if he doesn't get that job, he'll take the Tennessee job and coach with Robert Saleh.
Wow. That's kind of crazy. Now, I can't really make fun because we got our own issues in trying to find a defensive coordinator as well. I think, the problem with us is we have changed defensive coordinators every freaking year. There's not any stability there, and people might look at that and say, do I want to go there and be there for a year and get blamed and fuck up my opportunity to become a head coach? So I can't laugh too much.
Philly, hook me up here, man. What's going on here with your boys here, man? I mean, you're going to be hiring a guy by the way, I want you to know this. I don't give a shit who you hire, OC. I don't think it matters.
Okay, I do think it matters, but okay. Well, I'll tell you this: this whole Brian the bullshit. Screw that guy. Screw him. Screw him big time. Let me tell you, everybody's got a short memory with this guy. He refused to interview for the Eagles head coaching job a few years ago. He's been screwing us before. I didn't want him to come in for an interview to begin with because I knew he was a little bitch like this. So I'm not surprised at all that he would go ahead and say he was going to take the Titans offensive coordinator job. He's a moron. He coached the Giants and they did nothing. So hell with him. I'm glad he doesn't want to take the job because the truth of the matter is he screwed us before. Why would the Eagles even reach out to him after him refusing the interview before?
Okay.
So to me, I don't take anything from it except for Brian DeBall's being Brian DeBall.
How about this one? Okay, so Mike McDaniel is he's taking the Chargers job, and he's doing it with Jim Harbaugh, and he's gonna now again. Also, there's reports now because he hasn't inked that down yet that he's going to be interviewed for that Raider gig because they're going to take Fernando Mendoza #1. So he may be the guy going into Las Vegas, and he may get that job. So how are you perceiving this here? I mean, it does. You hear Diane Rossini say this is an awful job and one of the worst jobs. Do you agree? Do you think it's a good job, or do you think that this is a bad job?
I mean, I look at it and I go, man, to me, this should be, in my opinion, an attractive job because of the talent you have. But listen, every time an offensive coordinator goes to Philly and does a good job, they become a head coach. It's like you're going to become a head coach if you have one good year as offensive coordinator in Philly. So to me, I would think for that, it would be attractive. But I'm not going to sit there and say that there isn't something wrong within the organization. To me, there's something that goes on that's deeper, that is going on, that maybe is part of the reason why, like, a McDaniel doesn't want to come in and interview. And I'll even say this: how serious could the Eagles have been about courting him for offensive coordinator job when they didn't even bring him into Philly?
They did a Zoom with him.
They did a Zoom. What? If I'm trying to hire a guy, I'm going to say, man, we're going to fly you first class. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. I'm going to try to wine and dine him. They didn't try to do that. So how serious were they about him even coming there? I don't know.
Do you think it's a good? So you think it's a good job? How come all these people don't?
I think on the surface it's a good job.
Okay.
But I think that I do think there's got to be something, and I think we all know it, but we don't know, and we don't know what it is. There's something inside internally that is all screwed up, and maybe there are people that don't want to be involved in it. That is possible. I don't know, but something within the organization is not right.
Mark, do you think it's either not wanting to work with Jalen or not wanting to work with Nick?
I think it's probably both. Now, being on the outside looking in, because as much as the Eagles, y'all hate us and everything else, y'all are becoming a lot more like the Dallas Cowboys with the drama and the situation and everything else. It's actually nice for us to actually not have as much drama as we usually do. But in the same way I was just talking about, if you're an up-and-coming coordinator, do you want to go to Dallas knowing that they've gone through 3 defensive coordinators in the last 3 years? You guys, you look at it and say, y'all done gone through 5 in 5 years.
No, 7 and 7.
Okay, 7 in 7
6
years. So you look at that and say, do I want to go there and end up having a train wreck? And if you're Brian Diebold, who I still can't believe that anybody wants to talk to him about being a head coach, I thought it was a complete disaster with the Giants. If you go with Philadelphia and it ends up being same kind of drama, you're not getting the next gig. You're going to be persona non grata. So I think it's definitely something with the coach because, Philly, you've gone through and said you've got this Nick Sirianni prevent offense. And if I'm an offensive coordinator, why would I want to go there if the head coach is going to, end up cutting me off at the knees?
Yeah, but to Philly's, this is what Nick fires back at. Hey, dude, I'm 50 and 18 in 4 years. I got 2 NFC titles, and I've got a Super Bowl win. So who are you here with the capri pants in your Gucci bag? I mean, you can say whatever you want here, but that goes down. But that goes down this lane too, Philly. Okay, so you want me to what? Run 25% of my offense? That's not a job for me. As you can see, winning is not a priority with these coordinating candidates. It's how do I become a head coach? It's more about your offense moving the sticks, isn't it? Because you're right. On the peripheral, well, shit, they're 50 and 18 in 4 years. Well, how couldn't that be the number one job? But coordinators are showing you it's not.
Yeah, well, I mean, the thing about it is, if you take McDaniel off the table and you take the Bowl off the table, right? Because those were apparently their top 2 candidates,
right?
I mean, it's really a big mess of who's out there, who do they want. So to me, once you get McDaniel's off the board, to me, they're all pretty much the same in a lot of ways. Mm-hmm. Right? That's how I see it. So I would have loved to see them push for McDaniel more. But, he's a little bit of a weird guy. I don't know what he's thinking or whatever. But when I hear that he had a Zoom call, then I wonder how serious it ever really got, how hard they pursued it. So I just don't know.
Phil, you do realize that the first interview is supposed to be a Zoom call, and then you actually bring them in. Everybody, all the interviews that the Cowboys did, they first did a Zoom call, right. Especially if they're still employed by another team. You only have 2 days that you can actually talk to them. So pretty much everybody does a Zoom call first and then brings them in.
Yeah, but Mark, I do think because of all the job openings and the positions of OC and DC that are open, I think there's a sense of urgency for teams because you don't want to be left with what a lot of people are being left with right now with the lesser. But I happen to agree with Philly. These Zach Robinsons, the Cooter, and all the rest of these guys, the Josh Grizzards, I think you could throw them in the hat, and I think they're the same guy.
Yeah, I agree with you, and that's what my biggest worry is right now is that we're going to be left holding the bag as far as DC. And your former DC may end up being the guy. Now, we do have Christian Parker in today being interviewed, and there's no word on how that's gone so far.
That worries me more.
Well, yeah. I'm hoping that, maybe we can take a little bit from you, have some insight on your defense, and potentially down the road get some comp picks because he becomes a head coach someplace. Yeah, that's my hope. I really don't want.
Let me ask you something. So I didn't mean to cut you off, Mark. I'm sorry, but let me say this. So, and I don't know this because I've heard and read multiple things. But who's leading this? Who's in charge of the search for offensive coordinator?
I heard it's Julian Lurie, the kid. I heard it's Howie, and I heard it's the owner, and then Nick. Because this is what Jeff McClain did. Jeff McClain put a tweet out. Then the Eagles made him walk it back. I happen to believe the initial report that the management team is leading the search, and Nick is involved, but I don't think Nick is a decision maker in this.
Well, that's good news, in my opinion. Okay. But usually with Howie, if he wants somebody, he gets them. I mean, he goes all out to get somebody. He doesn't waste time. So I wonder how much he's really involved in it.
Guys, here's what I heard about McDaniel. Dan Campbell walked out of the interview when he went up to Detroit because he wanted to bring his own people in and hire his own assistant coaches. Pretty much the same thing happened in Tampa with Todd Bowles. They were not going to do that. That's a $15 million move when you're going to do stuff like that. That's why, again, these guys were being recruited. This is the first time, Mark, I've ever seen a situation where coaches have been fired that are being recruited. Most of the guys were like Kellen a couple of years ago, a couple dents in the fender. You know, you took the job because you had to take the job. These guys here have really their choice of options, and that's really changed. And I think the three things that changed it were Pittsburgh, Baltimore, and Buffalo.
Right. We're
sitting here, the entire hiring process.
We're sitting here with 10 openings. The record before was 9. So right now, there's not a whole lot of people out there. That's why Kevin Stefanski gets zapped up real quick and things. There aren't enough people. So there's going to be some teams that are going to be left in here holding the bag. That's why Mike McCarthy, surprisingly, is, you know, the leading candidate, Pittsburgh, which is different than what they normally do. They usually get an unknown and look at it and say, we're going to keep it for 19 years. I can't see Mike McCarthy coaching for 19 years. That's a short-term kind of a deal with his age. So everything's kind of broken, and everybody is scrambling really hard right now because you're going to have 10 staffs out there that have to be filled. And there's going to be some that are just getting some toaster leavings.
Let me ask you this here on Javonte Adams and Brandon Aubrey. You think they're going to redo their contracts? You think they're going to extend them?
You mean George Pickens?
No. I mean these guys. Do you think these guys here, you think they're going to be left out?
You're talking about Devontae Adams?
No. Williams. Javonte Williams.
Oh, Devontae Williams. Okay. He supposedly was really good as far as an interview went with it. I still think that they really want to get Leonard from Denver, and they may be waiting, but I'm afraid that he's going to probably go to New York with Harbaugh, and then the Cowboys are left with Jonathan Gannon. That's my worry right now. Everybody that we've interviewed is interviewing everywhere else. And if I'm looking at these jobs, if I'm looking at it and saying, do I want to go to Dallas and get fucked over and then I don't have a chance at a head coaching job? Or do I look and go someplace else where I can coach for a couple of years, keep my resume clean, and maybe get a head coaching job? That's the problem that we're fighting. We got as much drama as the Eagles do with dealing with Nick Sirianni and Jalen Hurts.
For you here, Billy, A.J. Brown, here, let me ask you this. Here it is.
He's always open. He's always open.
The A.J. Brown situation got to a point of no return.
Yes, I have no idea. But when you hear that a guy requested a trade multiple times, it doesn't sound good, right? Yeah. So it doesn't sound good, but I still have no intention of trading him if I could avoid it. My goal, I think the best case scenario is if you could get him to win, be won over by the new offensive coordinator and excited about the offense, I think that would be the best route. But I don't know if it's fixable or not. It sounds like it's not.
Can I interject?
How would you handle this, Mark?
Well, you saw what happened with Micah Parsons, literally falling asleep on the training table. What if he becomes a distraction like that and just says, I am going to be so ugly, and that what you saw this year will be minor? At some point, you kind of have to say we have to move on.
But here, you're not better if you lose this guy and you lose Goddard on top of that. How do the Eagles get better by losing A.J. Brown? What are you going to do? Sign some dude or get a draft pick? That doesn't make you better.
You know what? Here's what you really need to look at. This is from the outside looking in. You got your Super Bowls. You've done incredibly well. Maybe it's time to say, let's cut bait for a year or two and just kind of start all over.
That's not how they think.
I know it's not how you think, but take a look at the Rams. Look what the Rams did. They won that Super Bowl. They ended up having all these bloated contracts and stuff. They got rid of them. They never really got that bad, but they're still one of the great teams. And you've got a lot of contracts that are in here that you're going to have to restructure to try and keep maintaining us. See, Dallas we always believe we're close, and we keep signing and spending big money on a couple of guys instead of just tearing it down and starting over. I'm just saying.
Philly, doesn't this tell you too, with what you're watching with these coordinators not having interest in the job? AJ wasn't wrong this year. Everything he said about the offense, you're watching with the actions of the guys, not a guy taking the Tennessee Titans job over the Eagle job. AJ Brown talking about the offense. I'm talking about accumulation of all these things that you're starting to see now. I mean, AJ's not wrong, dude. So they're going to castrate a guy for saying that the offense is inept. I find you need to make this right.
Yeah, I agree. He never was wrong. When he said it, I agreed with him at the time. I think most Eagle fans agree with him. I just don't think people. I just think people thought he was being a wide receiver diva, and I actually think he was speaking up for multiple players on that offense. As I've said before, I think he was kind of the guy they said, "All right, go public and take the arrows." But I agree with you. He was right, and I think they should do their best to try to win him back over and calm the situation and keep the guy. You're better off with AJ Brown than getting rid of him.
Well, Philly, I'm going to give you a little insight that nobody knows right now. According to Drew Rosenhaus's people, they want a Milton Williams deal for Jalen Phillips.
Okay, so they want a Milton Williams deal for Jalen Phillips?
Yep. That's
so under 30?
That's 26 large per.
Can do it.
I said I wouldn't do anything 30 or over. So I'll probably pass. I have to extend Jordan Davis, and I have to extend Jalen Carter this offseason. So
you're going to give Jalen Carter $35 million based off of that year last year.
Based off of what I believe he
You're
can give
basing it off of potential. You're going to give a guy on potential means they haven't really done it.
Yeah, because I look at a team like Dallas and how they screwed Micah Parsons up.
Okay.
I mean, big time. If they would have paid him 2-3 years ago, he would have been making what, in the 30s, and he would have been fine, and they would have had no problem. Look how they screwed that up. I'm not going to wait on Carter and he comes back next year and is dominant, and then now I'm paying him even more. No, I'm going to pay him. Maybe I could even get a little bit of a deal here or there, a little bit of out because of the way the season went with him. And I'm going to sign him this year.
So Mark, how about this? This is what Philly wants. So I'm assuming, Philly, you correct the number if I'm wrong. You're going to pay in excess of $60 million for 2 defensive linemen. You're going to pay 25 for Davis, who's a 2-down player, and 35.
I don't think Davis is 25 million.
Well, right now he's making 12.
I think he's 18 to 20.
So $55 million you're going to pay for 2 tackles.
I'm not letting those 2 guys go. I'm just not. I'm building my defense around. If I have to take a pay cut and say edge rushers and have to go draft young guys and find guys like that, I will do it. I am not letting Jordan. To me, Jordan Davis proved too valuable to let him go. Too valuable.
How many more years are you going to go with Dak?
I think that here's what I have to look at. Okay, now Jerry Jones is 83 years old, and I'm not trying to wish anything on him, but average age of a billionaire white male is about 86. I look at this and I say, Jerry Jones and Dak Prescott, 3 years. You got 3 years to do something with them, and that's what I would look at right now. If you had asked at the beginning of last year, you would have said the Cowboys have an out after next year. But the way he played and the hits that he took, you look at that and say, we're okay. And you do have triggers that you can use to kick that money down the road. And I think the salary cap's going to go up about $30 million this year. So, if I'm the Cowboys, if I'm Jerry Jones, I look at this, I'm flipping all the triggers that I have. I'm grabbing $100 million. I'm signing George Pickens, and I'm going to be a player in free agency. Maybe I make a trade and try and get Max Crosby. or somebody else that's a legitimate defensive end with one of those picks, and I'm taking the other pick, and I'm taking the best defensive player available, and I'm getting a few free agents to supplement that defense.
Do you have buyer's remorse on CeeDee Lamb with the amount of money you paid him?
No, not at all. Not at all.
You're good with that money.
Even with the injuries, he's still over 1,000 yards. And you can see the difference.
Do you agree you build your team from the inside out, not the outside in?
And we ended up getting a stud in Tyler Booker, who's, all rookie team on the offensive line. We've got three great interior offensive linemen that are young. Our problems are our tackles. I think that really they need to think about taking Tyler Guyton and switching him back to the right side and either kicking Tyler Smith to left tackle. And, maybe you find another guard to go in there, or if you can find a left tackle, get a left tackle.
Philly, do you think your problems in 2025 were more O-line or more OC when it came to your offense?
I still think, as bad as the OC was, I still think it was O-line. That O-line really, really struggled. And I think we got away with a lot of stuff the year before just because that offensive line was so good. So I still think that was your number one problem. I think the offensive line was your number one problem.
Lane or A.J. Brown, Philly? What's your biggest conversation if you're the Eagles? Because if Lane retires, doesn't that dictate who you take in the April draft? And if AJ is potentially moved, does that switch and does that make you go wide receiver in the first round? Aren't those two issues a lot to do with what you're going to do in the upcoming draft? Because if Lane retires, dude, Fred Johnson's not the guy.
No, he's not the guy. But, you can't draft the right tackle just to draft the right tackle. Okay. If the best player on the board when the Eagles are picking 23 is an edge rusher, I'm not taking a right tackle over the. I'm still going best player available. So you kind of have to take what's there. Of course, you got to look for a replacement to him if he retires. As far as AJ goes, I do think that dictates maybe when you get that you have to take a receiver early, but you have to go out and sign a receiver free agency. The rookie is not going to cut it. You have to go out and still sign, I don't know, Brandon Ayuk or somebody like that. I don't even know who's available. But if you go out and get rid of A.J. Brown, you got to go out and get a receiver in free agency and in the draft, as far as I'm concerned.
Jonathan Gannon, Christian Parker, Jim Leonard is the pass game D coordinator, I think, if I'm not mistaken. Any of those candidates, Mark? Jonathan Gannon, any of those guys, Christian Parker.
I don't want Jonathan
you guys,
Gannon.
you like there in Dallas?
To a man, nobody wants Jonathan Gannon. Okay,
why? Get him. He's great. Get him.
Why? He took the Eagles to the Super Bowl.
Eberflus disciple. Okay, they kind of worked together there before. No, Jonathan Gannon, we don't want him. Christian Parker, I think, would definitely be a lot better. I'm still holding out hope that we can get Brian Flores because Brian Flores, he's interviewed with Baltimore. He's interviewed with
Commanders,
with the Commanders for defensive coordinator and for head coach with the Steelers. But it seems like Mike McCarthy's got the inside track, and I don't know of any other interviews that he has. So, although with all the openings, somebody else is eventually going to call him and say maybe we need to look at this guy.
Philly,
there never was a better person made for the Dallas Cowboys than Jonathan Gannon.
Oh, Lord.
We hate him already. So put him on that stupid star and let's go.
Wait,
that's what I say.
How many years do you think Dak has left, Philly?
Oh, I think they should trade him this whole season. To me, you might as well do it now while you can get something for him. I think 2 at most. I think he's got about 2 years to get it done. Otherwise, it's over.
They could bring Kyler Murray in then, and he could be the quarterback in Dallas, and have Kyler Murray in there.
Thanks.
You can move.
They got 2 years. He's what, 34? Is he 34 more?
He'll be 33 this year.
33. About 2 years. You got about 2 years, I think.
Couple more here for you guys, Billy. So, is this more of an indictment on Sirianni or Jalen Hurts that nobody wants the OC job?
That's a good question. I think I got to go with Nick Kotite. I think I think it's Nick. I think it's Nick, dude. Listen. I understand there are reports out and stuff with Jalen, but I listen to things Jalen says. I listen to other people talk about him that played for him. I don't think he's as difficult as everybody says. I do think Nick is, though. I think a lot of guys probably look at Nick and go, "You want me to answer to that guy? Really? I don't think so." So I would say Nick more than Jalen, if I had to guess, and I don't even know.
Let me ask you something here. With all the problems going on, Mark, and how about this? I don't know problems. How about this? Situations they have to clean up over there with some of the things with injuries, with cap, finding an OC. Do you believe you believe you're closing the gap on the Philadelphia Eagles now?
Oh, definitely. I think, I know the Micah Parsons situation. No, it's closing the gap and catching are two different things. Any movement closer together is definitely closing the gap. Didn't say we were overtaking you, but you can't look at it and say that this team that you had this year.
You did beat them.
Yeah, we did. That this team this year was as good as the team was the year before. You stepped back, right or wrong.
Yeah.
Okay.
No,
we ended up getting rid of Micah Parsons.
I will not admit
you will not admit it. I know you won't, because you are such a homer that everything is always unicorns.
Philly, you don't think you stepped back as a unit from a year ago?
No, I think talent wise, I actually liked what we had. I think we underperformed.
AJ Brown is going crazy and wants to get the fuck out of there. I don't believe
AJ Brown.
Your offensive line was battered and bruised.
This is where
nobody wants to coach Jalen Hurts, and Saquon is a shell of himself. And you still say that that right there is the same as the team that won the Super Bowl? You call us delusional? You're delusional, Philly.
All three things you said are all speculation. They're not fact. The fact is
your offensive line couldn't stay healthy. Lane Johnson might freaking retire.
Saquon Barkley did not lose a step. A.J. Brown, yes, he wanted out, but you can't tell me he can't play football anymore.
He was 900 yards off of the number of a year ago.
I get it, but he also why was he? We know it's not just because his yards were down, therefore he's done and he's gone and he isn't the same guy. No, we know that offensive line struggled all year, Sills. That's why towards the end of the year, I think he had 5 games at 100 yards. His numbers actually came up at the end of the year. He started playing much better football. But that's because of the offensive line. If you want to say anything where we weren't talented as we were a year ago, it'd be the offensive line. But I look at that defense. I actually thought that defense was playing, for the most part. They disappeared in the Niners game, but I thought they showed that they could play just like the defense the year before. I think they had the talent. I still look at the teams playing, and I think the Eagles are just as talented as those teams. So I don't buy that narrative. I think it's a bunch of bullshit. Actually, I think the coaching is what was the downfall of this team.
What do you think, Mark?
I was going to say, if you're as good as those teams, then how come you got mollywopped in the playoffs? How come you lost to the Dallas Cowboys? We know we suck.
Wait a minute. He's saying, listen, they got beat by San Francisco, Mark, because of coaching. They didn't get beat because of better talent. I mean, the Eagles had. Would you not agree? Wait a minute. Would you not agree? Oh, no. I get it. But when he calls him like Nick Kotite, there's no question in that San Francisco game that the Eagles had by far a better roster. What happened? They were completely outcoached.
No, okay.
Robert Saleh and Kyle Shanahan took them to the woodshed in coaching. It wasn't because they were a better roster. Wasn't that on display?
Yep.
That's right. You could have a very talented team and not live up to the capabilities of how talented that team is. The Eagles fell short this year, but you can't tell me that isn't a talented roster. I do not believe that for one bit.
So do you believe, Mark, you think the Cowboys are trending up, right?
Yes. Their defense has got nowhere to go but up. The offense played pretty good.
Philly, do you think the Eagles are trending up?
No, not yet. I think right now we're in a holding pattern.
What's the holdup?
You need an offensive coordinator. How are you supposed to build your offense and fix the things that you had wrong when you don't even know who your coach is? So we've got to fix some things, but we don't know where we're going with our offense right now. So I think right now, look, we're talking about the beginning of the off season. We're not talking about it being August. But right now, I have no idea who's the offensive coordinator. I have no idea what their plan is, what kind of offense they want to run, how they're going to go about doing things. So how can we add anything right now when we don't even know who our coaching is?
Last two ones here. It's the conference title games. Mark, who do you like in the AFC Championship game? Obviously, no Bo Nix. It's Jarrett Stidham in the game. Patriots roll into that game. Probably the favorites heading in there without a headless guy in there without the quarterback. What do you see in that one there? You think the Patriots take care of business to get back to another Super Bowl?
The Patriots take care of it, but I would love to see my former JMU Duke, Ben DiNucci, who they re-signed, get in there and get some action and become the hero, become the next Nick Foles. That would be an incredible story right there.
Absolutely. I think Sean Payne's going to make that game closer than you think. What do you think, Philly? AFC Patriots go to another Super Bowl?
I'm going to say that Denver's going to find a way.
Wow.
I'm going to say they find a way.
Defense, right?
Well, sometimes when things like that happens, teams come together, man. I don't know. I think it's just one of those gut feelings where everybody thinks New England's just going to run through them. And I'm going to say Denver's going to come out and find a way, and they're going to win.
I'm going to ask you one question here before we go to the NFC title game. Philly, do you think the two best teams in the NFC are playing in the NFC Championship game?
Yeah.
I do too.
Surprise.
I do.
I do too. Who do you think wins?
Rams. I think the Rams are going to win. I still don't know about Darnold. He looked pretty good, in that playoff game versus the Niners, but they crushed the Niners. That Rams game, the last one in Seattle, was in overtime. They should have won. I have a feeling the Rams are going to go in there and upset Seattle.
I got to tell you, man, I got Seattle winning that game, Mark. What do you think?
That I'm telling you, playing in Seattle is like being inside of a jet engine. The crowd is a factor in that place, and they will be rocking. And D-Law is on a mission to go ahead and say, F you Cowboys, because he already let us know that he wasn't going to win a Super Bowl with the Cowboys. And, that would be the perfect way to stick it in Jerry Jones's eye.
Oh, my God, I hadn't thought that. And by the way, how about this, Philly? If you're Jets fans, guys, they had Joe Namath 2.0. If Darnold hoists that Super Bowl trophy, can you imagine if you're a Jets fan?
Yeah.
You let that dude roll out the window and you couldn't fucking bring coaches in to coach that guy? It would be the ultimate F, right, Philly?
What about Minnesota? They also have.
Yeah.
Yeah. That would be crazy.
It shows you what good coaching does, doesn't it?
Sure does.
You got good coaching, man, around you. Do you know that guy's won 29 games? He's 29-6 in the last 2 years. Now he's in the NFC title game.
One step away from the Super Bowl.
Wait, I got one here. I got to sneak this in. Mark, if he wins the Super Bowl and Super Bowl MVP, would Sam Darnold be considered elite to you?
Would he be considered? He's got a hell of a defense, though, bro. This is the narrative you have to look at.
No, this is the Jalen Hurts narrative.
I would say yes.
I mean, I guess you have to. You just put it out there with the 6
Billy
losses
talks about
in 2
winning
years.
all the time. Got to matter, right?
Yeah,
I would say yes, not because of 1 year, because he did it multiple years. He's had good
2
years.
Yeah,
different teams.
2 different
Yeah,
teams.
When you back to back, I think you got it.
Yeah, you got to put him up there.
You would have to, man. I completely agree. Hey, Josh Allen not getting it done. What do you guys make of it?
Ooh. I got called a racist because I give Josh Allen a hard time, but I give Jalen Hurts a hard time too. But it was funny to me how
racist towards a white guy.
that's what he said, because you're always giving the white guy a hard way to go. The thing that's funny to me is, like Dan Orlowski is sitting there going about, Sean McDermott got fired and he couldn't get it done and all. It's like, Yeah, but his quarterback couldn't kind of get it done either. Yeah, you got 4 turnovers in the championship game here.
Can't have it.
You can't
Can't
have
have
that. That one before the halftime, 3 points.
Can't have-
You lost by
can't
3
have-
points.
Dacitis, man. He's got dacitis.
Well,
You know.
Well, wait.
they
yeah,
never had
you-
4 turnovers in a
You don't
playoff
really
game.
think that's a good football team, do you, Philly?
No. But I
You
still
can't have 4
think.
turnovers. I get it. You can't.
I also I'll say a couple things. One, I also thought they got away with one because I think Cooks was down on that catch.
I did
And
too.
so that was bad. But I think the reason why he was so emotional after that game was because he knew he let a perfectly good situation for him go.
Mhm.
He no Mahomes, no Lamar,
Yep.
none of those guys in there, and he blew it. But yeah, you got to win the games, man. You got to win those big games.
You absolutely do. Guys, I appreciate you so much more than you know, man. Thank you guys so much. Make sure you check out these 2 insane guys and their great shows that they have. Guys, thank you so much, man. I appreciate you
Thank
very
you.
much.
All right, man. Peace out.
You got it, man. That's our guys there, man. Philly.500 and Mark Combs. We can't thank these guys enough. Make sure you guys please hit the like button here, paying some bills. Our great friends at Morgan & Morgan with
Okay. There we have it. There we have it. We are done with another weekend. Philly.500, man, he's hurting right now. He's hurting big time. So I appreciate everybody being here. I got some things I need to do, like get something to eat because I'm starving. So I got to go down and cook some dinner and things like that. But I will be back in here getting some more news to you guys. As always, appreciate you, Holly. Appreciate you, Jeff. My name is Jeff. Rhonda, I believe that is StreamYard that they use on there. Chris May in the house. John Wembley, how are you doing? Leo the Geek and Football Fanatic. Everybody, I appreciate y'all, and I will see you guys soon. Time to turn out those lights. This party's over.
Turn out the lights. The party's over. They say that all good things must end. Call it a night. The party's over. And tomorrow and next year, start